So I had something happen this week and I want to tell you about it. And look, it's not even that big of a deal, but it did kind of stick with me. The other morning I'd hit snooze a couple of times and I finally got up, made some coffee, started cleaning up the kitchen like I do. And at some point I had just stopped. I had the coffee in my hand and I'm just standing there just staring like I don't even know at what, like the counter, the wall, I don't know, probably for like a full minute. And I caught myself doing it and I kind of laughed out loud at myself and I'm like, boy, I'm screwed up. Because that's what I do. I catch myself being a human and I just kind of laugh it off and keep going. But this time after I laughed, like there was another thought and I really haven't been able to shake it, and it really coincides with a lot of our recent conversations. And it's kind of like, how much am I doing that? Not staring at the counter, but like just in general, like how much of my day am I actually aware for?
Well, first off, I really dig the fact that you laughed at yourself first. It's very Bo of you. But that second thought is the one we do need to really talk about. You're absolutely right, because that part's not that's not very you. That really is most of us. We're going through the day and we're moving and we're handling stuff, and we are catching ourselves just zoned out, and we do often just laugh, and then we just kind of keep on going, and nobody's really stopping and asking like, how often is this happening? Like truly, like how often is this really happening?
Yeah, and look, I've been calling it tired. Mm-hmm. I've called it busy. I've called it 100 different things, but I don't think any of them are quite right.
Well, and I think we need a better name for it, because once you've got a name, you can do something about it. And we've said this a ton of times, like confirm it, name it, and then you can do something, because until then, you're just going to keep walking around in circles.
This is the nature of everything. Don't stay stuck.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Nature of Everything. I'm Bo.
And I'm Clint. Whether this is your first time hanging out with us or you've been around for a while, we're glad that you're here.
Real quick, if you're new, here's the deal. This is more than a podcast for us. It's a practice. We talk about life through this thing we built called COIN. It stands for confirm it, own it, be intentional, and change the nature of everything. And we wrote a book about it. It's also called Confirm It, Own It, Be Intentional, and Change the Nature of Everything in Your Life.
Yeah, we named it COIN, and then we just kept going, and I think we added 113 more words, but it's fine. It's a super efficient title. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we could have stopped, but we did not.
No, we absolutely did not.
But look, it's a real book. It's available at thenatureofeverything.com, and it's everything we talk about here, plus a lot more. So if any of this stuff lands and you want to go deeper, grab that book.
Absolutely. Thenatureofeverything.com. That's our home base. And on the page, there's articles and our free daily check-in that you can download. And you can also get in touch with us through our website.
All right. So today's a little different. Today is part 1 of a 3-part series that we're rolling out over the next 3 Fridays. And we're calling it Coming Back to Yourself.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's not a productivity series. It's not a hustle series. What it is for the version of you that's been on autopilot for a little too long. The version that's not lazy. The version that's not unmotivated. It's just tired. It's tired in a way that sleep just isn't going to fix it.
And I'll just say it clear. We're doing this series because we needed it. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't theoretical for us. This is right. Where we are. And so look, if you're there too, that's why we're talking about this stuff, because we just want to walk through it together.
So here's the roadmap real quick. Today, part 1, we're naming what's actually going on. Next Friday, part 2, we're going to talk about how we got here, and we're going to introduce a framework that we think is going to genuinely change how a lot of you think about rest. And then part 3, we get practical. The actual tools. Not white knuckling it. We don't believe in that. But real practices. True practices for coming back.
Yeah, so if you've only got time for 1 episode, this is a fine one to start with. But I really hope that you'll stick with us for all 3.
Absolutely. All right, let's dig in.
All right, then. All right, so let's get back to me staring at the counter. That moment of just being gone while my body's doing some things. There's actually a name for that. Most people have experienced it. They don't even know. It has a name. It's called highway hypnosis.
Yeah. And the technical version of highway hypnosis is you've been driving. And let's say you're on the interstate and you've been driving for an hour, 2 hours, and you arrive at your exit and you're fine. You didn't crash. You didn't drift over into the other lane. Your trip actually went very smoothly. But if I ask you what songs were on, what billboards you passed, like what was going on, were you even like what was going on in your head? You couldn't tell me. You were there, but you weren't really present. And I think we've all experienced that.
Yeah, and the thing I want to land on here is that this isn't a driving thing. This is a life thing. Like we do it at work. We do it with our significant others, our kids. We arrive, we didn't crash, but we're not even there.
Yeah, and realistically, here's where it gets kind of tricky because most people just assume that, well, that's just life. That's just that's just adulting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course I'm tired. Of course I'm half checked out all the time. I've got responsibilities, bills, and taxes. The kids that you mentioned, I don't know whose kids they are, but they're always at my house. Whatever it is, we all have those things. And look, like those things are real. I'm not saying that any of that is not of substance. It is. But that checked out feeling, that's not just what life is. That's something happening to you, and you can do something about it.
I think we've said this before on the show, but it bears repeating. Your body shows up, but your soul is still in bed under the covers. Like you went to work, you answered emails, you smiled at the meeting, but actually you never made it out of bed.
Sure. And you know what? And one thing I definitely want to point out, like, this isn't quite burnout either. That's something that's being talked about a lot is burnout. People hear what we're describing and go, oh, well, you're just burned out. Not exactly. Burnout is when you're actually empty and you've got nothing left in the tank. However, highway hypnosis is when you're full, but it's like full of obligations and full of pressures and full of other people's stuff and in the environment in general. So you're so full you can't even hear yourself think anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that distinction matters because the way out is different. If you're burned out, you might need to actually stop. If you're in highway hypnosis mode, more rest might actually make it worse, depending on what kind of rest. I mean, we're going to get into that next week. That's a whole thing.
And the last thing on this isn't a personality issue. We do this thing where we go, yeah, I'm just one of those people who runs on caffeine and hatred, or whatever it is.
That's me, all right.
And it just nothing fuels me more than hating your face. But I'm always tired. That's just me. No, actually, no. That's just the story that you're telling yourself to make this feel like that's who you are. But it's not who you are. It's where you are, but you can move from that place. And you can't really move from an identity.
Yeah, look, that's a big difference, right? Identities are hard to change. Situations can change. But like we said, you are not tired. That's not your identity. You feel tired. Where you are right now is tired, and you can change that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how this actually comes about, because I think a lot of people listening right now would say, well, I mean, I actually identify like that. Yeah, this is me. But, I just need to get through this season. And we kind of want to push back on this idea of, well, we just need to get through this season, because how long has the season been going on is the question.
Yeah, like this is going to sting because I have been telling myself that I'm getting through this season for years.
I know.
Once this project is over, once the kids are older, once I hire somebody, once Q3 wraps up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time.
Sure. And you're right. The season, it does. It just keeps going.
Keeps going and going and going and going. I mean, well, next month it's going to calm down. It does not calm down, by the way.
It absolutely doesn't. And the trap that's underneath all of that is the world is actually rewarding you for being like this, right? So you get promoted and you get praised and you get patted on the back, and you're known as the dependable one and the reliable one and the one that's always on task and hitting it out of the park. So on the outside, you look like you're crushing it. Meanwhile, something's fading on the inside, but nobody's going to intervene because there's nothing visibly wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you fall apart, people notice. People will even step in and help. But if you just kind of slowly fade and you become a little less present, a little less alive, a little more on autopilot, nobody ever pulls you aside from that. Because from the outside, you look, our favorite word, you look fine.
It's fine. I said it's fine. Yeah, I know. And from the social behavioral side of this, the reason nobody catches it is because everyone around you is pretty much doing the same damn thing. And so,
So true.
tired is just, I mean, it's just the water that we're all swimming in right now. All the time. Like, hey, man, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. And the response from whoever you're talking to is like, yep, same here, man. Feel it. And this little odd piece feels like now there's solidarity, but it's not. It's not actual solidarity. It's more like it's just confirmation that all of us are staying stuck and nobody can see out of it because we seem to all be in it.
Whew, that is heavy. I mean, it's heavy because it's so true.
Absolutely. And I want to name something specifically because I think this actually punches us right between the eyes. And this is like business owners, parents, the people with a lot on their plates. There's this thing where you feel like entitled to just chill. And you know what I mean? Like, I worked all day.
I know all about that one.
Well, you and I talk about this with a lot.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I know. Like, worked all day, dealt with the kids, did the dishes, I did all the emails and stuff, got everything, got the soccer stuff done, got the softball stuff done, like piano practices. I mean, all the things. We've done it. By the time I sit down at 9 o'clock p.m., I've earned my zone out time. And here's the reality. You have earned a break.
Thank you. I definitely have.
You did. And you really did. But there's another part.
Yeah, but what we reach out for in that moment, or what I reach out for in that moment, it's really not a break. It's numbing, scrolling. For me, it's binge watching some show, or it's that third drink. You know, we tell ourselves like it's rest because we earned it. But our nervous system isn't actually getting restored at all. It's just getting numbed out. So, Monday morning rolls around and we're still tired. And we don't know why, because we rested all weekend, but we didn't.
No, and like you said, we are going to dig into that a lot more next week. That's the whole heart of episode 2, without a doubt. Like what's actually rest and what just feels like rest, or that confusion. We're going to deal with that. But today, we just want you to notice that the entitlement is real, and the thing that you're reaching for might not be doing what you think it's doing.
Yeah, and look, just notice it. Name it. We're not worried about fixing it today. We're just noticing it and naming it.
That's right. Okay, so I will say, this is where it does get interesting. And we've talked about the fog before. And so kind of like this, when you're in this fog, this highway hypnosis that we mentioned, your brain is going to suggest a fix. And the fix it suggests is going to feel right. And it's actually probably the worst thing that you can do.
Oh, Lord. All right, what's the suggestion? What's it going to say?
Oh, you know the suggestion. More discipline, right?
Yeah, exactly.
the hated word. More discipline, more grinding. Wake up earlier. Get the planner out. Really get into that calendar. Like, make the schedule. Your brain is saying that the way out is to push harder and to slug through it. And I want everybody listening to hear us on this. That's the fog talking. That's this hypnosis talking to you. Because that's not insight. That's the same thing that put you here. It's the same thing. It's just yelling at you now. It's just getting louder and louder in your head because it wants you to do the same thing over and over.
And look, the whole thing on this show, since day one, it's practice over discipline, right? Discipline is what shows up after you've practiced something for so long that it's just a part of who you are. But you can't decide to be disciplined on a Tuesday in May because you skip February. It's not how it works. We think about it like this. Discipline is a receipt. It's not the plan.
That's right. That's right. I do like that. Discipline is a receipt. I didn't think of it like that until you just said it. But to your point, you don't just summon that up. Like you have to earn all of that. But t-shirt design for you. Discipline is a receipt, not a plan. Yep.
Well, typically you don't just earn it, you pay for it.
That's a fact. There's a price.
But look, if you're trying to summon discipline as your way out of the fog, you're using a tool that's not ready yet. The tool that is ready is practice. Showing up small, even when it's clumsy, especially when it's clumsy.
And there's actually research that backs up what you're saying. it backs up the fog being real. There's research, and I know you're excited about that.
Tell me all about the research.
Okay. So there was a Harvard study where they did this thing where they tracked thousands of people in real time on their phones. And so they were just basically pinging their phones throughout the entire day. Just sort of like, what are you doing? Like, where's your head out? Like they're asking these questions and finding out this information. What they found out is people are mentally somewhere else in this fog, in this highway hypnosis. Get ready. 47% of their waking hours.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, half their life, half of our life. We're not even in half of our life because we're just kind of fogged out and doing weird things.
That's embarrassing, and somehow I believe it.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like we're talking about half, and that's the average.
Okay, yeah, well, that explains it because I'm probably running at about a 60 there, 60%.
So don't worry, everybody. Bo's pulling the average up, so no big deal. But this is the part we do want everybody to catch because we think this is the key piece. They found that the mind wandering is what causes the unhappiness. Let me say that again, that they found that your mind wandering is what's causing the unhappiness, not the other way around. We tend to think that, well, life is hard and that's why my mind wanders, but it's actually flipped the other way. Is it the wandering around that your mind's doing? That's what's making life feel hard.
That's remarkable. I mean, so the fog isn't like a symptom of having a hard life. The fog is making your life feel hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to say it.
That's a big flip. I mean, that
Sure.
really changes things.
It's also why discipline doesn't fix it. Discipline is just one more thing that you're doing on autopilot. It's not being present. It's just performing the same disconnection more efficiently, I think.
Well, I mean, and presence is what we're after. I mean, not just productivity, but presence. Because if you're present, if you're really present in the moment, like even a hard day can feel like it means something. But if you're absent, even a perfect day can feel pretty empty.
I think that's a perfect summation right there. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think we can kind of land there today. I mean, and I know somebody listening right now is going to say, okay, well, what do I do? And I'm going to ask you to resist that for one more week.
Yeah, indeed. So that's the practice of confirming it. This is the C in coin. Before you can own anything, before you can be intentional about anything, before you can change anything, you've got to honestly name where you are. And you have to be able to do that and not flinch about what you have to tell yourself.
Yeah, because every time that we rush to fix it, we skip the awareness. And then 2 months later, we're kind of right back to where we started. But we have a new planner.
Yeah, we have all of the same stuff, but it's just, scratched out, scratched on, and now we got to start over. Which, okay, maybe you're in the start over thing. I'm perfectly good with that. So the only thing that we're going to ask today is then just confirm it. Sit with it. Notice it. Where in my life am I on autopilot right now? Where am I arriving without even remembering the drive? Like, where's my body showing up? But the rest of me, like Bo said, my soul is still in bed under the covers.
And look, there is no judgment on your answer. Don't moralize it. Don't go make some big plan. Just see it.
Absolutely. Because here's what we do know. You can't fix what you won't face.
That's it. That's always it. You can't fix what you won't face. So before we go handing you any tools or ideas, we need you to look at it honestly.
All right. So here's your homework. Just one journaling prompt this week. Don't overthink it. Just sit with it. Again, where in my life am I on autopilot right now? Whatever comes up, write it down because we're going to use that next week.
Because next Friday, part 2 will drop. The functional fade is what we're going to call it. And that's where we're going to get into how did we get here and what does it cost us? And we're going to introduce a rest framework, if you will. And I'll just tell you, it changed my thinking about my own week. So you don't want to miss that.
Indeed. And so then part 3, the Friday after that, we will get practical. And that's when we talk about the actual toolkit for this.
Yeah, so if you've been with us for a while, follow the show, share the episode with somebody who needs it, and bring them along for the rest of the series. Because most people who feel this, they think they're the only one feeling it.
Absolutely. And look, if this is your first time, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. And I'll say this, the best place to start is thenatureofeverything.com. So go read some articles and grab the free daily check-in. Get in touch with us.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to catch you Tuesday for a quick check-in, and we'll be back here next Friday for part 2.
Before you go, just know it's time. Time to connect. Time to change the nature of everything. Find us at thenatureofeverything.com and don't stay stuck.